What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I'm Mr. Straight Facts. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to get to the news a little bit at the end, but we're still going to cover like history in a sense, which is also kind of to me making news because it's something I saw earlier today made me want to go back and revisit history so that we get it right, as opposed to what was whitewashed, what was lied about, whatever. You feel me? So I wrote a little something for you. I'm going to go through it, and we're going to go through some actual facts and deal with these particular facts as opposed to the fiction or the BS that people put out there. I often hear people just in the vicinity of me sometimes talking about politics and things, and it trips me out at how they have the facts all wrong. But they have so much emotion or disgust or anger about something, and they got the facts wrong. And the person they're speaking to somehow has the same facts or very similar facts that are fake. And both of them in their feelings. And I'm sitting here like, whether should I interrupt and say, you mad about nothing because it ain't real? Or should I just let them be? Oftentimes I let them be because I've learned that when you try to educate stupid people, they try to hold and cling on to that stupid. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Here's the facts right here in front of you. No, I don't read. You don't know what you're talking about. You just can't beat. You just can't be stupid. You just can't. Can't try and beat it. So what I did was put something together today, and I'm gonna read some things and go over and try and stay focused on the point. This show literally talks about President Obama, because I don't think he gets his respect that he should get as what he was when he was a president. We're going to go over some things, and I'm going to stop in between so you can get understanding. But let's go ahead and just get it started. Here we go. There's a story that's been told about Barack Obama. And like a lot of stories in America, it's been twisted, trimmed down, and reshaped until the truth barely breathes. So tonight, we're going to breathe life back into it, because this wasn't just a presidency. This was a test of leadership under pressure, of progress under resistance, of dignity under attack. We all witnessed it. They made fun of Obama's suits. They called them monkeys. They called his wife a man. All these things that had nothing to do with what they were there for. But under that pressure, I couldn't have done it because I would have called somebody's mama out. But this man literally had resolve, relaxed. You could see it as a black man or woman. Sometimes he had that head tilt. You know he was saying, fuck you, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But didn't come across his lips. But he had to work against that. Let's take it back to the beginning. Before the policies, before the headlines, before the history books, there was a declaration, not from the people, you and me, voters, not from the voters, but from power. The House and the Senate, Supreme Court, all that. There was a constant grind against anything this black man wanted to do. Our president. If you remember well, Mitch McConnell, the Republican Senate leader who freezes up now, at the time said it plainly, and I quote, the single most important, pay attention to that, the single most important thing we want to achieve is for President Barack Obama to be a one-term president, unquote. Do you understand this man said the single most important thing is that this nigga doesn't get a chance to do shit? We're trying our best to make him the worst fucking president. We want our president to fail. His single most important thing was not to fix the economy, not help the American people, not work together for a more perfect union. It was to get this black man out of office, achieving absolutely nothing if possible, which means Americans would not achieve in that time frame, which they could blame it on Obama that your life got worse. So they set upon a plan to destroy America, to not let it progress. So unpatriotic. But no, none of those things helping American citizens was their number one plan. Their number one plan was to make this black person a failure. You do understand why. This country's racist, whether you believe it or not. Because if a black man shows up all these centuries of white men not accomplishing for the people, then it tells you that there was a game plan the entire time that even you poor white people, they didn't give a fuck about you. That their gig was up, that their power would diminish. Because who would want another one of these racist presidents if this black president was successful in letting American citizens have health care and other things that they so desperately crave? All of us, whether you're racist, whether you're white, black, Asian, whatever you're into, all of us want the same thing. And these racist white people, Republicans, did everything they could so you couldn't have that. And the picture they put on it was a black man. You don't like this black man. Don't want anything. Just want your life to get worse. Just keep it as simple as possible. We ain't gonna destroy it, but we ain't gonna make it progress because he'll get credit for it. You don't want that. That'll go down in the history books. A black man actually did shit for white people that white people have been planning to do for white people, but just didn't do it because they've always been greedy and colonizing pieces of shit. So no, we can't allow that. We need this black man to fail. And so they set upon it. They said it out loud. Do you understand? This is one of the first times in history that a party set out to destroy America under the leadership of its president. And then they blamed this black man for dividing the country when he was uniting it. They reversed it, tried to make it seem like he was dividing the country. This man never said anything divisive about this country. Everything that he put forth was about helping all people. And racist white Republicans, along with their little sidekicks from other races and cultures of Coonville, decided to do their best, their damnedest. Even Michael Steele. Michael Steele, I like him now, but back then, that's the asshole that came up with Obamacare so they can make these racist white people pissed off that it was named after a nigga. Instead of saying Affordable Care Act, which, hey, who wants affordable stuff? I do. No, nigga care. Oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. Get rid of that. It ain't good. Why it ain't good? It's giving you better care. It's loving on you. It's so your grandma, when she dies and don't have any money, you can be able to take care of her because of the health care that you had. Why isn't it good? Yes, I'm telling America who the fuck you really are. Because in all honesty, the man tried to love on y'all, and all y'all had was hate for him. Even some of these coon-ass black people, same shit, had hate for him. Wanted him to be a failing president. Yes. Go back and look at history. The mission was political obstruction. And from that moment forward, after Mitch McConnell said a one-term president, and our single most important thing is not that he gave a fuck about whether you got health care, not that he gave a fuck about whether your mom died, dad died, whatever, you got sick and that you went broke because you couldn't afford the doctor's bills, not about American people not having a living wage. That was not it. Get the nigga out. That is the most important thing. And any Republican that backed that up, that's all it was. I'm tired of this country living behind whistles and racist, dog whistles. Say what you fucking mean. And if you look back in history, you'll see that's exactly what they meant. White people got the answer. You knew what the fuck they were saying. You weren't stupid. The people who even voted for him and then later voted for Trump, they got the message. He makes us look bad. Because there's no way a person who made bills to give you health care that you would vote for a guy who had concepts of health care and took 10 years to come up with it. Obama came in and within months had a plan ready to go for you. Not just black people, Latin people, all Americans. I'm going to tell you the fucking truth, whether you like it or not. Imagine walking into a job. I want to personalize this. Imagine walking into a job where half your coworkers decided before you even sat down to turn on your computer that they were going to block you, stall you, and make sure you fail. How great of a job would you pull off if every day you went to work, everybody there was pulling for you to fail? Pulling the chair out from under you. You come into work and your computer's gone and you got to go find it. All your passwords changed. You got to try and figure it out again. Every day, sabotage after sabotage after sabotage, and you got to come to work with a smile on your face and try your best to do a good job. Not for you, but for the people, because you're a person of service, but everybody's changing your password. Everybody's lying on you, trying to make, and then you got all kind of words for you, racist terms, pictures of you as monkeys. Your kids having to have, problems and shit like that. People calling racist terms, their social media, all that. Everywhere they went, they talk shit even about your kids, which up until them, kids were off limits. They didn't care if your ideas in this work situation, this scenario, don't work. I mean, not because your ideas didn't work. It was because if you succeed, they would lose power. And that's exactly what Republicans were doing. They couldn't let this black person show them up. Because if he did, why else would you want a loser-ass, racist-ass white president if you got health care that worked? It would let you know that these white men have been lying to the American people forever. That they have been trying to make themselves rich while fucking you over. You can't admit that. You want a black face to make it seem like it's bad, the white face good. So you voted for health care to be fucking you over as opposed to helping you out. It's crazy. That was President Obama's battlefield. Every day coming in, and there was a mine ready to explode from the Republicans. They want to pass something, Republicans said no. Even if it was good for their constituency, no. They came up with plans and lies to make something that's good for you sound bad. They used code words and code language of racism to be able to try and get their people to turn on things that would actually work for them. They didn't tell their own constituents what were in certain bills that would benefit them. They just told them the things that would not work for certain people in their communities, the rich, and they voted it down. Obama never walked in with cooperation. I mean, there's understanding of Republicans and Democrats having difference of opinions, and we can agree to disagree, and we can pass something that works. And, a little pork here and there, they have to do it, give a bridge to this city, whatever. That was a part of negotiation. Obama did not have that. Every president did. But it's crazy how he still succeeded. God is good, huh? You imagine all the shit he went through, worse than any president in American history. He still got you health care. He could have easily said, fuck it. They don't want health care? Fuck them. No, he fought. People forget President Obama's mother had cancer. People forget President Obama watched his mother pretty much die in the healthcare situation that there was in this country. People forget that President Obama's mother was white. So he cared about black and white, and still racist white people had problems because his skin was darker than theirs. They couldn't see themselves as possibly his mother, possibly his father. They couldn't see that. They couldn't see that somebody that could have been one of their children or grandchildren that was mixed was thinking about their their well-being, thinking about them getting sick and not having to lose their home or their car or sell something off for their health care. They couldn't see that because racism was stronger than love. They didn't give a fuck about Obama. They hated on him. And the ones who voted for him were trying their best to see what would this black guy be able to do. And once he started doing good by people, oh no. Once he gave a fist bump to his wife, oh, that was evil. Do you understand that has racist history too? The fist bump? Black communication? Did you not know? In the military back it was in the 60s during the war, Vietnam, I believe it was. Black people did handshakes, the shit that you see NBA players doing all the time. Shaking hands, doing shit, flying birds and shit, all that. Yeah, the history of that is that black people did that. And even in the military, because they were afraid of white people who were in the military that would shoot them in the back and pretend like the enemy did it. So they had a handshake, 5 on the black hand side. You know, these military men thought it was some kind of demonic thing. They thought it was some kind of evil thing that black people were doing. Some of them were put in like, not in chains, but some of them were like demoted, kicked out of the military just for doing that type of handshake. The shit that every race and color and creed now does for fucking fun. Once at one time in history, put black people in trouble. And just like woke, it was there just so that black people could communicate, I got your 6. When I have to go out with a bunch of these racist people who they knew was racist, that one black person will let the other black person know, I got your back. The fact that they're in the military fighting the same people, that they got to worry about the people that they're laying down and trying to save. If the other team shot one of these white guys, that black guy would be there giving him mouth to mouth, doing whatever, trying to stop the wound, but he still had to worry about that white man when he got well, because that white man could have shot and killed him. Signals, handshakes, racist. When Obama did it to his wife, we still had racists like that from back in the 60s, regular ass white people who said they weren't racist. What was that about? Why did they do that? It was them just giving dap to each other. You don't believe me? Go back. Go back and look. It was all over white media. What was the fist bump about? Oh, the suits. Oh, this. Oh, that. The shit that a black man had to deal with that no white man being president ever had to deal with. We had a president, a white president, one of the Kennedys, was fucking another woman while married, and you didn't put him through hell like you did Obama. He got assassinated later for some other reason, but still. Obama, he walked in resistance the entire time with a calm demeanor, respect and love. Everybody who ever was in the room with him, even Republicans. Remember, he turned one of the Republicans, the speaker at the time, played golf with him, started changing a little bit near the end because he realized how much hate they had put toward this man. And he realized he was a good man. Later on, put him through hell. He kept a calm demeanor and kept asking for help, lending out his hand. These white people looked at him and like, what's the hand for? We're here for you to fail, bro. We ain't here to work with you. President Obama, John Boehner, thank you, Dennis Petro, he got it right. John Boehner finally realized to stop hating on him. I appreciate y'all, man. I love my audience. I love y'all. Y'all just totally get it. You right there with me. All right. So he invited lawmakers to the White House over and over again to sit down, talk, negotiate, find common ground. Many times they refused. So you have this story, even this day, when you got black Republicans, Latin, white Republicans, and just ridiculous. Even some Democrats capitulate and let them just say this bullshit about Obama didn't walk across the aisle. He's one who started doing a bunch of these executive orders. Y'all forced him to do executive orders. If he waited on you, he would have done nothing. He would have just sat there for 8 years, putting his thumb up his fucking nose. He had to do something. You were the first resource he went to. Republicans, he asked you countless times, come and talk to me. We can negotiate. And what's so crazy, this is the man who negotiated with what we consider our enemy, Iran, and made a deal. But he couldn't negotiate with Republicans. It was harder to negotiate with Republicans than it was to negotiate with Iran. Think about that. A country of Republicans who said they loved their country, but when their country needed their help, they were nowhere to be found. Go back and look at history. They've lied and lied and lied and lied to the point where you got reporters who give in on stuff and say, well, Obama didn't really work with the Republicans. Well, I'll give you that. Fuck no, don't give him that. The man asked over and over and over again. He's the president, and Mitch McConnell was like, you come down here and speak to us. I'm like, who the fuck are you, you bird-looking bastard? Who are you to tell the president to come talk to you? You do remember this is the same president that they brought Bibi Netanyahu to stand for the first time that we had anybody from another country come and stand and give a lecture to the president via the state, up at the state capitol, speaking for the Republicans. Republicans had Benjamin Netanyahu come and speak at the American citizens, disrespecting Obama, our president. I don't forget this shit. The first president in these United States in recent history, while giving a speech to the American people, some white fuck in the room, racist fuck, said, you're a liar about something he wasn't lying about. Disrespect to the president, big time. On the floor. And yet they want to blame Obama for their disrespect, for their ignorance, for their cowardice, for their non-patriotic attitudes. They want to blame Obama for the way they acted like fucking children, racist, disrespectful, and all that toward a black man that showed nothing but love. Find me one word where Obama said any kind of cuss word toward them, said that they ain't worth shit. He didn't say none of that. That I don't want to work with them. He never said none of those things. You can find Republicans saying that shit all day, every day during the time that he was president. While at the same time getting on the microphone on Fox, he won't speak to us in the House, and the representative saying we don't want to speak to him unless he does A, B, or C. Like it's a hostage situation. He's your president. While you had Democrats when Trump was president the first time, you had Chuck Schumer and others going and speaking, trying to get things passed with Donald Trump. This hateful, racist piece of shit, Donald Trump, Democrats came and spoke to him to try and get bills passed. Republicans would not do it. But you kind of forget that, America. You kind of forget that bullshit. They refuse to see him, not quietly, not subtly, strategically. Because if nothing gets done, they could turn around and say, see, he didn't get anything done for you, America. Which is so crazy because it's out in the open. You see that they literally came out and said they don't want him to be president and they ain't going to help him out to do nothing. And they literally set about doing exactly that. And then somehow Americans turn their head and be like, see, he won't work with Republicans. I'm like, you've got actual evidence of them saying they don't want to work with him and then saying he comes and come and speak to me. No, we don't want to speak to you. You come to us. Defiance, a strategic plan to not work with the president, to not have success with this president, which means they didn't want to have success with American citizens because the things that Obama was pushing was for us. That's the trap they set for him. In America, a lot of you guys ate the fucking cheese. You believed the bullshit in which Republicans spewed, and that's how we got Donald Trump. Not once, but twice. But you know what? You know what? God is good. You know why? Because still, somehow, despite your hatred, your sexism toward his wife and children, your disrespect, despite all that, your strategic, like I don't want to be bothered with you. You're basically having effigies of him being a monkey and burning stuff and his head on a noose and calling him the N-word and putting him up as a monkey and all that shit. Despite all that, progress broke through. This man, along with his team, clawed through the bullshit of racist white presidents in the past, of 50 years of lying to the American people that it's possible to get health care. We just can't figure it out. We just can't fucking afford it. But while giving Israel hundreds of millions of dollars for fucking ever, while they have health care, like for fucking ever. You not knowing that because AI wasn't around, Google wasn't around, they could pull the wool over your eyes for 200 and so many years, whatever it may have been. It's been less than that. It was 50 years that they've been saying they're going to give you health care. For 50 years, they pull the wool over your eyes. You didn't go search it. You just believed it because you think of your own pocketbook. We really can't afford health care. Look, they don't have that much money. It's crazy that our government had enough money to take care of all the citizens in the United States, in these United States, during a pandemic. But somehow can't figure out health care. But you can figure out giving people millions upon millions of dollars of PPP fucking loans and don't have to pay it back. Shut the entire fuck up. You can, you don't want to, and Republicans keep feeding Americans this bullshit that it can't be done, while they give money away to billionaires to build stupid shit we'll never use. Obama got health care reform passed. The Affordable Care Act passed. Millions of Americans gained coverage who didn't have it before. They told you it was impossible, yet it was possible. Let's look a little bit into the past when we had a president who was worth a damn.
Thank you all. Leave it on the clock.
We were so happy to have health care. I don't care what anybody says.
Thank you all. They're ready. Let them celebrate a little bit.
Fired up, ready to go. Let them speak.
Thank you. Mr. President, I think we got a happy room here. It seems ridiculous to say thank you all for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, to state the obvious, this is a historic day. In our business, we use that phrase a lot. But I can't think of a day in the 37 years that I've been a United States Senator and the short time I've been Vice President that it is more appropriately stated. This is a historic day. And history is not merely what is printed in textbooks. It doesn't begin or end with the stroke of a pen. History is made. History is made when men and women decide that there is a greater risk in accepting a situation that we cannot bear than in steeling our spine and embracing the promise of change. That's when history's made.
Amen.
History is made when you all assembled here today, members of Congress, take charge to change the lives of tens of millions of Americans through the efforts of those of us lucky enough to serve here in this town. That's exactly what you've done. You've made history. History is made when a leader steps up, stays true to his values, and charts a fundamentally different course for the country. History is made when a leader's passion is matched with principle to set a new course. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, you are that leader.
Amen.
You have...
Mm-hmm. 50 years of lying for America.
Mr. President, your fierce advocacy, the clarity of purpose that you showed, your perseverance, these are, in fact, it is not hyperbole to say, these are the reasons why we're assembled in this room together today. But for those attributes, we would not be here. Many, many men and women are going to feel the pride that I feel in watching you shortly, watching you sign this bill, knowing that their work has helped make this day possible. But Mr. President, you're the guy that made it happen. And so, Mr. President, all of us, press and elected officials assembled in this town over the years, we've seen some incredible things happen. But you know, Mr. President, you've done what generations of not just ordinary, but great men and women have attempted to do. Republicans as well as Democrats. They've tried before.
Exactly.
Everybody knows the story, starting with Teddy Roosevelt. They've tried. They were real bold leaders. But, Mr. President, they fell short. You have turned, Mr. President, the right of every American to have access to decent health care into reality for the first time in American history.
First time in American history, 250 years. Not at that point, but now, still to this day, the only one in 250 years.
Mr. President, I've gotten to know you well enough. You want me to stop because I'm embarrassing you. But I'm not going to stop for another minute, Mr. President, because you delivered on a promise you made to all Americans when we moved into this building. Mr. President, you are, to repeat myself, literally about to make history. Our children and our grandchildren, they're going to grow up knowing that a man named Barack Obama put the final girder in the framework for a social network in this country to provide the single most important element of what people need, and that is access to good health. And that every American from this day forward will be treated with simple fairness and basic justice. Look, the classic poet Virgil once said that the greatest wealth is health. The greatest wealth is health. Well, today, America becomes a whole lot wealthier because tens of millions of Americans will be a whole lot healthier from this moment on. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama.
All right. I didn't get that just to have him speak. I wanted those accolades to just ring in your ears because those things were true. Those were facts. 50 years of people saying they was going to do it and try to do it and couldn't figure it out. And a man came in by the name Barack Hussein Obama. I say that with respect because they try to put a shade on his name the way his mama named him. His mama was white. Okay? Just so you know that. She wasn't from Africa. She was from America. So these racists who like to say his middle name and put some shade on it, you couldn't compare to the hair on his testicle, let alone your entire body. Couldn't. Just that you know that. This man, president, I still call him president, Barack Hussein Obama, did that not for just me, not for Latin people, not for Asian people. He did that for the big A, Americans. And you hateful bastards couldn't see yourself as American. You saw yourself as white, as some kind of supreme being. Well, it's crazy how a black man that's supposed to be, inferior to you did something that you couldn't do for 50 years. Doesn't sound pretty inferior to me. What sounds inferior and weak, instead of trying to add on to it and make it 1,000 times better, they spent an entire decade or more trying to destroy it and erase him from history. He did it for all Americans. Like I say again, his mother was white. These racist people couldn't see the white in him. They couldn't see that that could be their sister's son, their mother's son. They couldn't see that. They could only see a black man. And they wanted to destroy the black man. But you don't see them trying to destroy white men. They're celebrating Donald Trump because he represents to them whiteness, rightness, merit. But what has he done for you? Other than make racist white people and dumbass people and other races who want to be close to racist white people feel like they're important. That they should have power by this fake merit system that they created. I don't know about you, but I want America back. That type of America, that's the type of America I want. When I watched that, I saw a white man giving a black man accolades who was also a part of making it happen. A room full of people of all different races, colors, and shades, and creeds, and all that, celebrating, being joyful, and I saw God in it. I didn't see hate in it. I saw God in it. God is love. I saw God in it. And all while that was happening, we saw God in that room. I saw y'all in this room. Some people talking about tearing up. You saw God in that room. Your heart spoke to you. No matter what race, color, or creed you were or are, you didn't care about that. You cared about everybody in that room and including yourself. I saw somebody in here say, without that, health care, I wouldn't have had it. I would have been through some things. It helped me. Hell, it helped me. And I'm thankful. I don't look a gift horse in the mouth and say, fuck it. I say thank you. And that's all they had to do was say thank you. But instead, they said, I hate you. Let me call you monkey. Let me call you the N-word. Let me call you this. Let me call you that. Let me make fun of your suit. No. How about you say thank you for saving my mom's life? Because I know many of you racists out there, because of that healthcare system, because of welfare, whatever you're on that you think black people are the head of, you have been saved by it. But you believe in the racist stereotypes. And this man became president and loved on you, and you still had hate in your heart. He put money back into your pocket. He made health an important thing so that when you got sick, you were taken care of. You didn't lose your job, didn't lose your money, didn't lose your savings. He made it so that if your kid came up with diabetes at 24, they could still be on your health care. Because before, she had to be off around 18, 19, 21, somewhere around there. You can't satisfy everybody. But when a man gives tens of millions, by the time Donald Trump tried to destroy it with this one big beautiful bill, over 40 million American citizens had health care that did not have it before. Many of them reportedly saying it was better health care than they had before and cheaper than they had before. Republicans went out and found the families that spent the most money on health care. It was like, oh, see, his health care went up 10,000. His health care went up 8,000. I'm paying more. How much do you make per year, sir? Yeah, that's right. You're making $16 million a year. You should have been more truthful, sir, as opposed to sitting here and act like you're a regular ass person on affordable health care, and your health care went up that high. I don't know of anybody's health care that went up that high. You must have 12 kids. But that didn't matter. Lying to the American people so that now that millions of people that for decades have had good health care, it's gone by the sign of a pen of one big beautiful bill because hateful ass white people and dumb ass people of color clinging to white racism, white power, decided to destroy something that inevitably will help them when they get sick. It's a damn shame. We move on. From there, Obama made us safer. Yeah. He had already had a war in which he had to deal with to manage with Bush's dumbass doing shit, going to war with weapons of mass destruction when there weren't any ever. Again, a Bibi Netanyahu thing, partially. And over years, that man, President Obama, along with the smart people beside him, that being, a lot of his executive, his administration, his vice president, Biden, and others, used their wise brains to come up with an idea. Like, let's put people together and try and work on the Iran nuclear deal. See, that nuclear deal, most people don't know, included other countries, not unlike Donald Trump, not including other countries and going and bombing the area and not telling everybody, oh, we just did this. We're going to do this because of whatever. He still hasn't told Americans why he's gone there. He's come up with 40 different stories, whichever one stuck. Just like he throws ketchup on the wall, he just threw some shit on the wall to see which one would stick. See, I don't forget history. I know we're in it right now. Donald Trump, when we first asked him, he told us that it was about regime change, right? Then Marco Rubio said, "Oh, it was Bibi Netanyahu, and we figured we're gonna have to fight anyway, so we went alongside of him." I forgot what Mike Johnson said. He said something different. right? We had a bunch of different things of why we went to war and started killing people and killed kids in a school. We had no reason why. We had no team beside us. We didn't have any other country with us. In fact, we did it ass backwards. We asked the country after the fact, after we lost and they closed the Strait of Hormuz, come help us, Europe. Come help us, somebody. Come help us. No, dumbass, that's not how it works. And the fact that your military didn't know that and they follow whatever Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu asked about, it's insane to me that they threw this country into a tizzy, into a tailspin, and they had no answer, and they still don't have any answer. 8 weeks out, they have no idea what winning looks like. Obama put a team of people together. Other countries actually got in on it, and they worked out a deal. Yes, they did.
Today, after 2 years of negotiations, the United States, together with our international partners, has achieved something that decades of animosity has not: a comprehensive long-term deal with Iran that will prevent it from obtaining a nuclear weapon. This deal demonstrates that American diplomacy can bring about real and meaningful change, change that makes our country and the world safer and more secure. This deal is also in line with a tradition of American leadership. It's now more than 50 years since President Kennedy stood before the American people and said, "Let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate." He was speaking then about the need for discussions between the United States and the Soviet Union, which led to efforts to restrict the spread of nuclear weapons. In those days, the risk was a catastrophic nuclear war between two superpowers. In our time, the risk is that nuclear weapons will spread to more and more countries, particularly in the Middle East, the most volatile region in our world. Today, because America negotiated from a position of strength and principle, we have stopped the spread of nuclear weapons in this region. Because of this deal, the international community will be able to verify that the Islamic Republic of Iran will not develop a nuclear weapon. This deal meets every single one of the bottom lines that we established when we achieved a framework earlier this spring. Every pathway to a nuclear weapon is cut off, and the inspection and transparency regime necessary to verify that objective will be put in place. Because of this deal, Iran will not produce the highly enriched uranium and weapons-grade plutonium that form the raw materials necessary for a nuclear bomb. Because of this deal, Iran will remove 2/3 of its installed centrifuges, the machines necessary to produce highly enriched uranium for a bomb, and store them under constant international supervision. Iran will not use its advanced centrifuges to produce enriched uranium for the next decade. Iran will also get rid of 98% of its stockpile of enriched uranium. To put that in perspective, Iran currently has a stockpile that could produce up to 10 nuclear weapons.
Sounds familiar.
Because of this deal, that stockpile will be reduced to a fraction of what would be required for a single weapon. This stockpile limitation will last for 15 years. Because of this deal, Iran will modify the core of its reactor in Iraq so that it will not produce weapons-grade plutonium. And it has agreed to ship the spent fuel from the reactor out of the country for the lifetime of the reactor. For at least the next 15 years, Iran will not build any new heavy water reactors. Because of this deal, we will, for the first time, be in a position to verify all of these commitments. That means this deal is not built on trust. It is built on verification. Inspectors will have 24/7 access to Iran's key nuclear facilities. Iran will have access to Iran's entire nuclear supply chain, its uranium mines and mills, its conversion facility, and its centrifuge manufacturing and storage facilities. This ensures that Iran will not be able to divert materials from known facilities to covert ones.
Now you see. Now you see. I'll try and put the link to all these videos if you want to go and watch them in their entirety. But President Obama and his team, his administration, they made us safer. Because everything he said, 15 years, they had a small amount of enriched uranium, 3.67% is what they could do. And it wasn't built on trust. It was built on verification, which meant over those years, the other countries that were in on this, not just America, the other countries and the organizations that check on all nuclear weapons, except for some reason, Israel, they check on all of them to see how much anybody has. That is negotiations. That is keeping America safe. Not one American died for that. Not one. We negotiated. Yeah. President Obama negotiated a deal. His people as well. I want to give it all credit to him. His administration, his brilliant minds came together and incorporated not just Donald Trump incorporating himself and a bunch of idiots. No, he literally did what you would want somebody to do. As you compare at all Donald Trump to Obama, Obama is a brilliant man. Trump is a dipshit. And America has given a dipshit a brilliant man's job. And you see how when a dipshit tries to live up to a brilliant man, he never can win because it takes homework. Obama stayed up nights reading and learning. Every bill that was passed, he read as well and had notes, as well as Biden. Donald Trump has not read any of this shit. And you notice how President Obama said, just like you hear today from Trump, he said they had enough enriched uranium to make 10 nuclear weapons. Donald Trump and his minions said they had enough to make 10 nuclear weapons, even though Donald Trump's CIA and intelligence literally said they don't have enough to make it, 10 weapons. They didn't have any at all, enough to make any weapon. The intelligence and the people who were around and actually did the information and so forth, checked it all out, literally said, nope, they're not a threat. Donald Trump said, I feel it in my bones. It's arthritis, bro. And we went to war. Nobody else included, no other country's intelligence included, nothing. The dipshit felt it in his bones. President Obama gathered brains together, as smart or even smarter than him, of course, in the particular field. That's what you're supposed to do. And they came up with a deal after 2 years. And Donald Trump's trying to do a deal, trash deal, in a matter of weeks. It took 2 years to get that done. And Donald Trump came in 2000, I believe, 18, got rid of something that brilliant minds put together by lying to the American people that, and Sean Hannity and all of them, lying to the American people that all this money is coming from us. Our tax dollars are going to them. No, none of our tax dollars went to them. America doesn't want to tell its citizens, but we're thieves. We stole their money. Yeah. And we ended up paying it back with interest. So that's the money that was given back to them. And it wasn't in dollars. It was in Swiss francs or some shit like that. It was foreign money that they took. But it was money that they were owed because they bought weapons from us when we were cool with them. We were supposed to sell them weapons. And instead of selling them the weapons, we stole their money. Now, for me, that's something to go to war with. We about to fight. You got hundreds of millions of dollars of my money and I ain't got no weapons to show for it? Obviously, if I bought the weapons, I need them. Something's going down, I need them. And you just took my money that I needed for weapons and kept it for yourself. And then when we finally make a deal, like, okay, well, we don't need uranium, we don't need this or that, but you know what we're going to do? Give us our money back. I call that a win-win, because literally what we did was give back stolen goods, and we got a great deal. They lost on both ends of that deal. No nuclear weapons. They got an agency always coming and checking and making sure it's not on trust, it's on validation. And they got their money back. What? Think about it for a second, people. If I owe you money, and then I make a deal to you, and I say, okay, give me this, give me this, give me that, give me that. And then I'm going to say, well, if you owe me money, you say, give me this, that, and the other. And then you give me my money back, and I give you everything you asked for. You took my money. You just gave me my money back. I gave up shit. I'm like, wait a minute. How do I win out of this? I lost my money to you. Then you came asking me for more shit. And be like, I gave you all this to give me my money back. Wait a minute. I lost on both ends of that. That was a deal of the century. And these dipshits had white people and racist white people and half of fucking America thinking it's a bad deal. How is it a bad deal? We won one. None of our cash went to them. We gave them their cash back. And we got shit from them. How did we lose? We didn't. We won and won. In actuality, won again because we got exactly what we wanted. And nothing came out of our pockets. It's insane to me how these people can get people to go against everything of common fucking sense because of hatred, of ignorance. Read a book sometimes. God. He came in and destroyed something that we won. And by him destroying it, we lost. How you get a win-win-win and he comes in and gives all of it back? You know what? Cut it. Get it. It's done. Horrible deal. Horrible deal that we paid nothing for a deal that they got their money back from us. It blows the mind. And news, when you harbor these MAGA minions, these Scott Bessent, but we got Scott Jennings and all. You put these people on your show and they say these things. You do not check them on the facts. They'll bring up shit like, well, he gave all that money, all that cash on the plane, and say, you know, that was their money. So me giving you your money back and you giving me something, that means you lost. You lost your money, then you lost your uranium. How the hell did you win? But nobody puts them to the test on air when they say stupid shit like that. It tells me they either don't know the history or they don't care. And you should care about the people who watch your show, that they're not being lied to. If your job is just to come in and just put some entertainment in and then act like you're telling the truth, then I guess that you're doing good. But for me, when we watch it, we want the facts, and we want you to hold people who lied to the American people accountable. But you don't do that. You let these lies fly. And you got a lot of Americans lost in the sauce. We go from there to President Obama helping students. See, this lie that everybody did, not everybody, but the people who were against him, and even some black people, that it bugged me. It bugs the hell out of me when black people, he didn't do nothing for our community. Did you ask him to come to your specific community? Because he did a shit ton for the black community, which you were part of. Did he come to your bumfuck town and do something specifically for you? No, but what president does? Always holding black people to a different standard than you hold white people to. White people could shoot you in the leg. You'd be like, but you missed the spot. At least I didn't die. Black dude, you want him to go to jail for it.
Well,
before I sign this, I just want to say thank you to this extraordinary coalition that helped make this signing possible. I want to thank Chairman Klein, all the members of both House and Senate from both parties that came together to design a sensible, common sense approach to keeping student interest rates at a reasonable level so that young people have a better opportunity to go to college, get the education that they need, not only to better their own lives, but also to strengthen the country's economy. And I want to thank the advocates, including some of the young people who I suspect will be benefiting from lower student loans or lower student loan interest rates, because without their voice, without their participation, we probably would not have gotten this bill done. Last point I'll make, and I suspect the senators and congressmen behind me will agree with this, even though we've been able to stabilize the interest rates on student loans, our job's not done, because the cost of college remains extraordinarily high. It's out of reach for a lot of folks, and for those who do end up attending college, the amount of debt that young people are coming out of school with is a huge burden on them. It's a burden on their families. It makes it more difficult for them to buy a home. It makes them more difficult for them if they want to start a business. It has a depressive effect on the economy overall, and we've got to do something about it. So I'm going to be looking forward to engaging the same coalition to see if we can continue to take additional steps to reform our higher education system, and I'll have some more things to say about that in the weeks to come. But for now, I want to celebrate what we accomplished here, and again, thank everybody here for their leadership in getting it done.
As you see, he thanked Republicans and Democrats and everybody to help American citizens, to help people with their loans to lower the interest rates. Because they hadn't forgot that when they went to college, interest rates were kind of low, 1 to 3%. And for the American citizen at that point in time, they were more like 6 and 8%, and some people say even higher, but I saw specifically 6 and 8%. And they lowered them. They gave a shit about the American citizen. They didn't go to the Department of Education and try and get rid of it. Who benefits from not having education? The entire world and educates their people. Think about it. Donald Trump, uneducated. The leader of Iran suckered him, and Bibi Netanyahu suckered him into the war. Them over there, they know the history. If you don't think Iran is smarter than our leadership, you crazy. Iran has got a propaganda campaign, right? Propaganda campaign is supposed to be about lying to the American people or lying to the opposite country so that you can try to get them against their own government to lie. They got a campaign on Donald Trump that's the absolute fucking truth. Go check it out. Facts for facts for facts. Rapping, singing, R&B, jazz, you don't care what it is. And it's all factual. And it's horrific. And it's making fun of the president. It's making fun of this country. And at the same time saying, we love Americans. We can't stand your leadership. And if you listen to it and go fact check it, it's sad that it's true. Propaganda is supposed to be lies about your country. You know the shit that America puts out? Absolute lies. That's what it's supposed to be. The truth. We need to educate our kids so that we don't have dumbass people leading us. And what we've done is let the dumbasses lead the country, and they're trying to get rid of education because that's their arch nemesis, intellect. They hate being smart. They hate smart people. Stay dumb is what they want so that they can control you. You get smarter than them, where do they have to go? They got to go back to their little racist bucket and their little sexist bucket and xenophobic bucket. They got to go over here to the transphobic bucket. Everything that divides us, they got to go in and invest money and get people to go down these lanes to divide up good people. and get them focused on their sicknesses, so to speak, the isms, the racism, the sexism, to focus on that. That's something that you just may have in you, and dividing everybody. So divided people go all over the place, and the hateful people stick together. That's why you have MAGA. That entire group of MAGA that won't leave, those are the racist, xenophobic, piece of shit human beings. They'll be like, well, not all Republicans. No, you guys are a piece of shit. I say all. Fuck all that politically correct bullshit. Fuck all that both sides bullshit. You are a piece of shit. Point blank, period. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I got facts on my side. You don't. You see, President Obama cared about education. Your MAGA dude is trying to defund it. Defunding Department of Education. Aren't you tired of, you were talking about liberals, defunding police departments, and you want to defund education. Educated people are less likely to be racist, sexist, xenophobic. Dumb people are more likely to be racist. Ignorance is the reason all those things exist. And it's no wonder that there's one party that wants to keep you ignorant so that racism thrives and disrespect thrives and hate thrives, while the other party wants you to become intellectual, whereas you start to critically think and say, racism's stupid. Why would I do that? He's a good guy. She's a good girl. Sexism's stupid. They love each other. Gay, bi, all this stuff. They love each other. No, you can't get to that level because they want you to stay stupid. Focus on education and take it away from you. Focus on true facts and take it away from you. Feed you bullshit so you stay stupid. But the point of the matter is, you leave this country, a 10-year-old is smarter about your country than you are about your own. That's why they'll end up hiring that 10-year-old to build IT shit. They'll hire that 10-year-old when he grows from another country, whether it be Africa, India, brown countries. They'll hire them for $300,000 to come over here and fix something because you're too stupid in America to learn it because they took your education away. They want to keep you dumb and racist and sexist and all the isms so that they can control you and they can get voted and put into power while the other party wants you to be educated. And they got you hating on the Democrats because they want to educate their people. Well, these people come to other countries, getting opportunities, they want to vote Democrat. Why do you think they would want to vote Democrat? Because that's the party that gives a fuck about them. The Republican Party is trying to say that they're sexist, they're rapists, they're killing your children, they're eating dogs and cats. Would you want to get with the Republican Party coming here as an immigrant? And let's say you're from Haiti. Would you want to come here if they think that you eat dogs and cats and shit? There's no proof. Take a bird's eye view of your party and recognize you guys say some of the most devilish shit and act like you are a child of God. It's insane. Bird's eye view. Pay attention. So we continue down more educational route. This one, we're going to see a bright young man.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is Matthew Alston. I'm an 8th grade honor student from the Howard University Middle School of Mathematics and Science, located here in Washington, D.C. We love our school, and we also love our teacher, Ms. Kim Worthy. She is here today, and she was recently named the 2009 D.C. Teacher of the Year.
Celebrating education. Brilliant brother. That kid is smarter than Donald Trump right at that age.
She inspires me to learn, to work hard, and to stay focused on my education. And now, I am very honored to introduce someone who inspires school children all across America to work hard and to stay at school and to be successful. Please welcome the President of the United States, Mr. Barack Obama.
Beautiful. Where have you seen any kid celebrate the orange turd? You haven't. You haven't. Why? Because he ain't all about lifting people. He ain't all about getting people to another level. He ain't all about getting people who are educated to move forward. No. He's all about destroying education because a dumbass doesn't want somebody around them smarter than them. Hence, he had Pete Hegseth, total dipshit. Right? Everybody he puts around them is dumber than him. He can't stand smart people. He literally said it out of his mouth. I can't stand smart people. He wants to be the smartest in the room. Therefore, he has to get idiots and people who obey him like puppies. He said that. I didn't say that. Not the puppy part, but the I don't like smart people. And here it is. Don't you call yourself smart, Donald Trump? The dude tells you out loud that he's a nitwit and then tries to get people to say that he's smart. President Obama continue to help with education, not only with HBCUs, in which billions of dollars was given to them under his presidency. He expanded their support over, I believe, $4 billion. Now, most people don't understand that a lot of times when this money is given, it's not only for black colleges. Didn't know that. Yeah. There's also for Latin, Asian, and underserved communities that got targeted under these educational initiatives. You mean to tell me President Obama gave a fuck about other races besides black people? It's astounding that racists grabbed the narrative and this country took a hold. If this wasn't a racist country, you wouldn't be able to hold racism in your heart and think it's not racism. You wouldn't be able to substitute, fake facts because you love facts. If facts is truth, right? And you decide that the truth hurts, that you make up lies and make that the truth, how is that helping anybody except for just you and the group of idiots that want to feel like they're smart, but know damn well they're dumb as fuck? Yep. President Obama helped with criminal justice reform. He took it a step forward. He's not perfect, but he had some progress. He had reduced sentencing disparities and clemency for people trapped in outdated laws. People wanted him to do more. But I go back to the situation where I wanted that we initially kind of started with this. President Obama was working. He was shackled. Republicans would not do shit that he wanted to do. All these things I'm telling you that he got accomplished, he got those accomplished with an entire party trying their damnedest to destroy anything he did great for Americans. So it's not the same. This is for those black people who have that same kind of BS, or people of color, same kind of BS that these racist white people try to put in your brain. Tell me if you can get ahead being shackled to somebody else's bullshit and still trying to win. He pulled them along with him while they was pulling him back 100%, and he still crossed the finish line multiple times with no help from a party. And you look at his failures that he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Go back and look and see how much he tried and how Republicans said, no, no, no. And then you guys talk about, oh, well, it's what we're supposed to do, negotiate. Well, if I tell the Republican Party, come and negotiate, my door's always open, come, and they say no every time and then get in front of a camera and says, he doesn't want to negotiate. You guys don't know history who believe that Obama didn't want to work with them. You don't have one soundbite of any time that President Obama said, I don't want to work with Republicans. I don't want to be successful with Republicans. You can't find that, but you can find Mitch McConnell saying he's going to be a one-term president and they ain't going to do shit that he wants to get done. Not those exact words, but that's what Mitch McConnell said, and the rest of the Republicans, and him and John Boehner was the head of that party. Yeah. Republicans said they didn't want to work with him. You don't have one soundbite audio of President Obama said, I don't want to work with them. He always wanted to work with them. They kept ignoring him because of their racist tendencies, their sexist tendencies about his wife, his family, all the different isms that they had. Get to the economy. President Obama had an economy that President Bush ran into the ground. Don't forget now. Don't forget. Who is the only president in American history that we know of in our lifetime that's ever balanced the budget for America? Who is it and what party was he in? That would be President Clinton, a Democrat. No Republican has balanced the budget. They always overspend, and they give a bunch of tax cuts, and they buy back stocks, which makes the stocks that people have their money and hard-earned money in, it dilutes it. So you get broker, they get richer, they get opportunities, you get less opportunities. They bill it as, we're going to give you some money back. What's the little $300 going to do for you when they throw tariffs and have wars and everything you pay for it goes up? Price of food goes up, the price of gas goes up. Oh, here's $300 for a tax cut. Oh, really? I got $300. Woo! But you realize my gas bill went up $150 a month. Huh. Strange. That's why people, if you are a person who doesn't have a budget and you just spend, you don't understand this shit for some reason. Oh, I got $300 and you're excited about it. I got $1,000, you're excited about it. Well, look how much is coming out of your pocket based on these Republicans' decisions. Donald Trump created tariffs, which literally means everything you bought that came from overseas, which is a lot of products that you buy in America because that's how they make a crap ton of money. They buy these products for pennies on the dollar and sell it to you as if it's the prime thing that you ever bought before. Anything from Gucci to Fendi to all this shit, they buy them from China. Many of the products come from there. It's being made for $25 and sold to you for $2,500. They make a grip of money. Do they care about you? Hell no. For some strange, odd reason, we give a damn about people who don't give a damn about us. Sounds abusive to me. You're in love with your abuser. But President Obama received an economy that was in tatters. Everybody at the time was freaking out, talking about the country's going to go through the biggest recession ever since the 1920s. It's like, oh, shit. Everybody was freaking out. What are we going to do? We got to bail out the banks. Don't bail out the banks because they ain't too big to fail. They were going all over the place. President Obama and his team had to come up with an actual strategy and a plan. Whether you liked it or not, they had to go with what their brains was telling them to do, mathematically, what would work, what wouldn't work. It's not about getting a popularity contest. It's about how can we make America better, faster, and make us stronger in the same process. And those brilliant minds came together and did things that not every one of us agreed with. They bailed out these banks who paid off this money a lot faster. Within his own presidency, they paid off the money that they owed. Interest rate starts coming down. Obama had over 70 months, I think it was like 75 months of consecutive months of growth. Don't believe me. Thank you, DJ, for the 25 donation. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. We're gonna see that right now, because I don't lie to you. President Obama. Will it come up? Oh, it's not up yet? Oh, my bad. Let me go back to it. For some reason, it lost its connection. There we go. It lost its connection. Let's see if it does it now. There we go. Obama's final jobs report marks 75 consecutive months of growth. Over 2 million jobs were created in 2016, but economists believe there's still room for improvement in 2017, in which Donald Trump would take office. Which lets you know Donald Trump's first year was a part of President Obama's already 75 months by the time of complete growth. That took decision making. That took getting hated for making some of the decisions that people with smaller brains, even like myself, couldn't understand. But I am one of those people that when I see something work that I may not have agreed with, I am the one to say, oops, I was wrong. Obviously. Because he pulled off something that no American president has ever pulled off in American history. 75 months by the time he left of job growth. 75 months. Donald Trump can't piece together 3 months of fucking growth. 75 months. You understand, in life, if you want something, you focus on it. If you really want it, you focus on it. Obama focused on building our economy back. He made bills and wrote executive orders specifically to make the country better. And there was a bunch of hating ass white people that wanted him to fail. And at every turn got pissed off that he passed something that worked, and then went out and say, he's writing all these executive orders. He's writing all these executive orders. He needs to work with us. And then at the same time, let's work together, he would say. Well, we don't want to work with you. Well, I had to pass the order because I need to work for the people. They hated on him because he was brilliant. I'm going to tell the fucking truth because I'm sick of the lies. You reporters out there, you allow these fucking Republicans come on your show and lie about history because you don't heard it so many times. It seems like you don't even know the history yourself. But you do. You just don't want to sit there and talk for the next hour to an idiot. And if he's that dumb or she's that dumb about not knowing about American history, why the fuck are they an expert? Why the fuck are they on TV? You got somebody on the television set right beside you pretending to be a politician, pretending to be somebody who has political strategy and understands the truth, the facts, and they come on and lie to you and you accept that shit for the American people. You are a part of it, just like anything else. If you don't stand up for truth, you're a part of the lie. And if you can't catch all the lies they saying, don't invite their ass back. The shit is simple. You're making it hard. 75 months of growth. That was the Atlantic that came out. What year is that? Look at the White House at Christmas. I missed the times, man. I don't think it has the date on it. I want to validate the date. Oh, January 6, 2017. You can go look that up if you get the title. You can read the whole article. It's still available for you to see. Again, facts of what went down. He had 75 months of growth. Got haters out there saying, oh, he didn't do this, he did that. He did a lot for us, American citizens. He did a lot for black people. He did a lot for education of all people. He did a lot for Latin people and Asian people and Jewish people. You guys just don't pay attention to what the hell he did. You stick with the racist stereotype talking points. Because for some reason, Democrats don't promote. They don't want to brag about what they do. And Republicans can't help but brag about what they do. Even when they have nothing to brag about, they make up lies to brag about it. They're lying people. They want to control the narrative. They only care about power. They've never cared about people. And don't get me wrong, Democrats care about power too. But they're the only party that has created things for people. This is another one, clean energy. President Obama had a massive investment in clean energy, a blueprint for a future we're still chasing, but not with President Trump. We're not chasing this clean energy. This fool came in and said, windmills be killing birds. I'm like, what? The fuck are you talking about? I remember David Allen Greer on In Living Color used to have a character that was in the restaurant. And I forgot the other guy's name. I know forgot his name, but he's in the kitchen and he would say, pick up. But you would hear David Allen Greer was a homeless person that just said random bullshit. And I'll never forget the phrase he said. This reminds me of Trump because he said some of the dumbest shit out of nowhere. He was sitting there chilling in the middle of their conversation. He goes, I picked my boogers because they asked me to. Just out of nowhere. That's Donald Trump. Go back and watch it. It's funny as shit. those little David Allen Greer clips, I picked my boogers because they asked me to. That's Donald Trump. out of nowhere, just bring up some bullshit. Look at I like that painting. I like the drapes. I love gold. Bitch, what's that got to do with anything? What's that got to do with anything? What you focus on is what you get. Donald Trump is not focused on the people. So what the people getting? Absolutely shit. You know what he's focused on? He's focused on the ballroom. He's focusing on building a pool right at the Lincoln Memorial. An actual pool to get in and swim instead of having the reflective pool to think about society and everything about that country you live in. He's trying to put a pool there. He's put gold everywhere. He tore down the East Wing and decided to build this ballroom. He gives a shit about building shit. But does he give a shit about you? No, he never did. What you focus on is what you get. Donald Trump is focused on wars. He's focused on oil. He's focused on, trying to get more money, trying to build things, put his names on things. He's focused on making money. He is not focused on making Americans great or better. It's all about making himself better. Financially, powerfully, you don't matter. Gas, he's sitting there saying like, oh, I thought gas was really going to be higher than it actually was. So right now, it's really not that bad. People are here deciding whether to get gas or get food. He's like, it's not that bad. So he's telling you it's going to get worse because he don't give a fuck about you. But no, these idiots keep moving, going down the rabbit hole of fuckery. 75 months of growth. And let's not forget pandemic preparedness. You guys know, or you should know, this was not available to American citizens at the time that President Obama left office. It has since became available, and I don't know if it's available only here or overseas because it's from a different site. But I had to find it because I heard about it in an article, and I was like, oh shit, where's that at? I typed it into Google and found it. Hopefully you can too. But President Obama didn't lie about leaving Trump with a plan for a pandemic. It wasn't like terrible. It wasn't like, it was Obama had dealt with at least 2 pandemics in which only, I think out of the 2 is a possible third one. I remember something about it, but one person passed away. I think it was the flesh-eating virus one that passed away, I believe. But one person passed away. Dr. Fauci and his team and Obama letting the medical people do their fucking job. They actually did it like in a minute. They didn't put no light through them or nothing like that though. But they did it so fast that Americans knew about it and saw a few people get it, but then that shit was ixnay. The same guy, Dr. Fauci and his team, that helped us with the AIDS pandemic, HIV pandemic. His help is the reason why a lot of people are still alive today. His help is the reason why Magic Johnson's still alive today. So when people talk about shit about him, I'm like, fuck you and your mama, because you don't know shit about that man. That man is a savior for this fucking country. The things he did. If you knew the stories of that this man did, when these people were dying of AIDS, Dr. Fauci would cry because he couldn't help that he was losing so many people and he didn't know what the fuck to do. He was at his fucking wit's end. He was trying his damnedest to save people and he'd get connected to them and they die in the most horrific way. And he did whatever he could until he sat down and listened to the people who were dying, and that's how he ended up figuring out solutions. The things that they were saying to him. He didn't treat them like a patient. He treated them like they were people. So if you got some ill shit to say about Dr. Fauci, fuck you and your entire family. You ain't did half the shit this man has done to save Americans, to save lives all over the world. It ain't just Americans. He saved people in Africa, all over. It kills me, these numbskulls with no fucking education, dumb as fuck, always got something to say, but never do any homework to back up the bullshit they spew. They took it away again. Let's see. We'll have to redo it again. Let's see. This one is, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time that I think Americans have mostly seen it, not unless you looked it up, This right here is the playbook in which President Obama and his team left Donald Trump, that they got rid of. It was a playbook for early response to high consequence, emerging infectious disease threats, and biological incidents. I'll try again to leave these links for you guys at the end of this. This one right now is on Stanford EDU on one of their websites. So as you continue down this, you'll see playbook purpose, policy coordination and exercising the playbook, risk assessment dashboard, on and on and on. Concept of operation for domestic response. They laid it out for these numbskulls, and they threw it away. And here's the thing. 1 million people died because this man didn't take it seriously, meaning Donald Trump. And he literally had Dr. Fauci there, and he literally had President Obama at access on the ready to help America, regardless of whether he liked Donald Trump or not. Had he asked him for advice, like many people do, ask the previous president, like, how did you go about it? Could have worked together as a coalition to save Americans. Maybe less than 1 million people would have died. But no, this dipshit did not want to do it because of his racism, because of his inability to be smarter than President Obama. He didn't want to get shown up because he know what happened when John McCain, who I respect, but at the time of running for presidency, he didn't know his ass from a hole in the ground when he was talking about finances, about financing the country, because Republicans are not fiscally conservative. I'm telling you that right now. And I get tired of the news allowing them to claim that fucking title. They are not fiscally conservative. Every Republican president has spent more than they've made. None of them have balanced a budget. None of them have even come fucking close. So if you're going to say you're something, please have done it at least fucking once. Again, that white merit bullshit in which you say you're something that you're not, you've never proven it. In life, you usually tell you that if you want to be, let's say right now, I want to be a computer programmer. And this is my first day of learning computer programming. I'm just reading a book about computer science. They say you got to put in 10,000 hours before you become an expert. These piece of shit white men literally think they can just say, I am a programmer. And that day, they get a job for $300, $300,000 to go to work and pretend full-heartedly like, yes, I know what that is, even though they don't. Collect a check and do absolutely nothing and pretend like they're that smart. I'm a scientist. Really? Computer scientist. Really? Where'd you graduate from? Exactly. These people have no education, no understanding of the shit, and always want to act like they're an expert. Every human being should be able to humble themselves and educate themselves. When you walk into the room and you're not the brightest person in the room, you need to learn from the person who is the brightest. You don't need to be going around with your chest stuck out thinking that just because you're white or whatever it is, that you're already the smartest person. No, go learn from that person. And just as you learn from them, you too shall become as smart if you continue down that path of talking to more people who are smart. Because their wisdom inside of you, as long as you remember it, you're starting to become wise too on the topic. Put in the 10,000 hours. Ask a gazillion questions, and you too can claim to be smart. But you just don't put on some smart outfit and all of a sudden you're fucking smart. That's what they did. They put Donald Trump, a dumbass, into an excellent president suit and thought he was going to match it. He doesn't fit it. The suit does not fit him. That ridiculous long tie should tell you something's wrong. Who has a tie that goes down to their testicles and say that's the right length for a fucking tie? And dumbasses, everybody around him wearing ties long as shit. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this, long tie year? Sycophants. It's crazy too, because many of these people have gone to college and they're smart in whatever field they're in, and they're sucking up to a dumbass. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want you guys to know what I told you about President Obama, There's many more things that he's done. And I'm sure there's things that you may not like. But that's not what I just told you about, a president who did nothing. That's a president who built while being blocked. But let's not romanticize it now, because the truth carries weight. He didn't fix everything. He couldn't. No matter how much you wanted him to, he couldn't. But he did fix something that for 50 years Americans have been lied to about, and he got it on the table, got it passed, and he got millions of people are still alive today because of what he did. He did it not with a Congress that was determined to stop him. The Congress that was determined to stop him. Not with political gains outweighing public good, not with the added reality, yes, we have to say it, that race, rhetoric, and resentment followed him every step of the way. There were moments where more could have been done, of course. Moments where communities needed more urgency, more boldness, more change. That's real. But so is this. Progress under cooperation is one thing. Progress under obstruction, that's something entirely different. Because every executive order he signed, every compromise he made, every policy he pushed through wasn't happening in a vacuum. It was happening against a current that was designed to push him backwards. So when people say he didn't do enough, you have to ask, enough? Compared to what? Compared to a president with full support? Or compared to a president fighting uphill every single day? Because those are two different realities. And if you were being honest, truly honest, if there had been cooperation instead of obstruction, dialogue instead of denial, country over party, America might be in a different place right now. That's not speculation. That's the cost of division. Donald Trump did the division thing on purpose. He's not a true citizen. His father's from Africa, whatever. The hate train came running for President Obama by Donald Trump and other MAGA people. They saw it working, and therefore they jumped on the hate train while saying, I'm not racist. Really? So when you join the KKK and you put the hood on, you're not racist. You're just a person who likes pointy white hats and white robes. This isn't about worshiping a politician. This isn't about ignoring flaws. This is about understanding context. Because when you remove the noise, when you strip away the narratives, what you're left with is a man who tried to move a country forward, while parts of the country were determined to hold him back. And still, he moved it anyway. That's the truth. And the truth matters. President Obama, thank you for your service, brother, what you did. I am, sorry that this country treated you the way you did, but I could only imagine if President Obama had cooperation, how great our healthcare would be. I could only imagine had we stuck with him and helped him out and did how many things that Americans have problems with today. We could have got health care completely taken care of, I'm sure. Education would be tremendous. Probably some of it free, others low interest. He already had low interest. He might have gave, just like President Biden did, paying off people's loans and things of that nature, giving people opportunities. Who knows? Grants for people to have their college degree paid off if they went off to service or whatever it may be. There was just, I mean, the sky is the limit when you have a president whose focus was on the people. Did President Obama go buy a bunch of shit under presidency? Did he invest in everything? When you talk about President Obama, you don't hear nothing about, when he was president, about buying something from somebody, getting a ship from somebody, getting gold from somebody, getting a plane from somebody. Didn't hear him on going around tour without talking about American citizens. He did everything for America. Like most presidents who were in that office, it was Americans, and some of them was just so much about the power. But when you think about Obama, the reason why they had to make this man hated by these white racist people and these idiots who believe it is because they didn't want to have a black man be the best president this country ever had. And Obama, to me, is, but he would have been undoubtedly the best president this country ever had if he went without having all this obstruction. There's nothing wrong with having disagreements. I'm sure many of these things he would have been able to get done would have been, you know, some things you had to give, some things you would have had to give away with the Republicans. Had it been, they just debated on certain issues, just think how great this country could have been. Just saying. When you, part of what made me think about this was that today I found out that President Obama not only set us up for the future, he set us up, you know, or not for just the president, he set us for the future. Because if you don't realize it, President Obama was prophetic. And he did it off of knowledge, you know, don't get me wrong, but he had a certain type of way of thinking forward. It wasn't just a slogan, he said. Pay attention to the way the man speaks. The things he said back in the day about clean energy. I want you to hear this real quick.
Over the past 20 months, we've been fighting not just to create more jobs today, but to rebuild our economy on a stronger foundation. Our future as a nation depends on making sure that the jobs and industries of the 21st century take root here in America. And there is perhaps no industry with more potential to create jobs now and growth in the coming years than clean energy. For decades, we've talked about the importance of ending our dependence on foreign oil and pursuing new kinds of energy like wind and solar power. But for just as long, progress had been prevented at every turn by the special interests and their allies in Washington. So, year after year, our dependence on foreign oil grew. Families have been held hostage to spikes in gas prices. Good manufacturing jobs have gone overseas. And we've seen companies produce new energy technologies and high-skilled jobs, not in America, but in countries like China, India, and Germany. That's why it was essential for our economy, our security, and our planet that we finally tackle this challenge. That's why, since we took office, my administration has made a historic commitment to promote clean energy technology. This will mean hundreds of thousands of new American jobs by 2012. Jobs for contractors to install energy-saving windows and insulation. Jobs for factory workers to build high-tech vehicle batteries, electric cars, and hybrid trucks. Jobs for engineers and construction crews to create wind farms and solar plants that are going to double the renewable energy we can generate in this country. These are the jobs building the future. For example, I want to share with you one new development made possible by the clean energy incentives that we've launched. This month, in the Mojave Desert, a company called Bright Source plans to break ground on a revolutionary new type of solar power plant. It's going to put about 1,000 people to work building a state-of-the-art facility. And when it's complete, it will turn sunlight into the energy that will power up to 140,000 homes, the largest such plant in the world. Not in China, not in India, but in California. With projects like this one and others across this country, we are staking our claim to continued leadership in the new global economy. And we're putting Americans to work, producing clean, homegrown American energy that will help lower our reliance on foreign oil and protect our planet for future generations. Now, there are some in Washington who want to shut them down. In fact, in the pledge they recently released, the Republican leadership is promising to scrap all the incentives for clean energy projects, including those currently underway, even with all the jobs and potential that they hold. This doesn't make sense for our economy. It doesn't make sense for Americans who are looking for jobs. And it doesn't make sense for our future. To go backwards and scrap these plans means handing the competitive edge to China and other nations. It means that we'll grow even more dependent on foreign oil. And at a time of economic hardship, it means foregoing jobs we desperately need. In fact, shutting down just this one project would cost about 1,000 jobs. That's what's at stake in this debate. We can go back to the failed energy policies that profited the oil companies but weakened our country. We can go back to the days when promising industries got set up overseas. Or we can go after new jobs in growing industries. We can spur innovation and help make our economy more competitive. We know the choice that's right for America. We need to do what we've always done, put our ingenuity and can-do spirit to work to fight for a brighter future. Thanks.
You're welcome, brother. Yeah. So I wanted to see that because, excuse me, because today, I was looking at an article, and also I saw a news clip, and the anchor was talking about the future of renewable energy, cleaner energy, and solar energy, and all those things. And President Obama, in that speech, when he was still president, and Republicans were trying to destroy it and just rely on fossil fuels, President Obama, in here and many times after this, was talking about America needs to be the leader of new types of energy because the old factory jobs, the old way of doing things are going to the wayside for many countries and pretty much globally, right? And he said we need to create jobs and become the leader of the future. See, here's the thing about America. America has always been on the edge or the cusp of new technology. Therefore, we have always been the leader in many ways for a bunch of these things. We started sending factory jobs over. We started doing less in computer, production and things of that nature. So Japan and China kind of started to supersede us on a lot of the technology front. But don't get it twisted. We were one of the top technology countries and still are in many ways. But China, Japan started passing us up on building robots and a bunch of other things, even AI. And so President Obama was always talking about we need to be at the forefront. And they created an initiative where they put a lot of money, created a lot of jobs, excuse me, during his presidency. And all somebody had to do was take the baton and run with it. And America would be number one in renewable energy. But instead, we had a dumbass orange dude come in and start talking about windmills kill birds. They're ugly. China doesn't even have them. And MAGA minions believed him. He cut a lot of these things that Obama created that helped create jobs, which means people lost jobs, and a lot of the stuff went overseas, just like Obama said. And the news today, and this has been going on, the news today, I want you to see. You're going to want to hit somebody. when you see it. China invests clean energy while U.S. and the EU struggle. Because of this war that Donald Trump created just out of choice and made fossil fuels seem so like constraining, that they have you by, you know what, the nether region. These countries are trying to figure out ways that they can no longer or ever be held hostage again, by not by Iran, not by America, nobody. And China, who continued their process of building, they have more windmills. Matter of fact, they ordered up more windmills or whatever than the entire world has. China has more than every country has of windmills. Add them all together, and China has more. Solar power, all that. They're the leaders now. The new future of energy is not America like Obama and the people who saw it a decade or so ago. No. Well over a decade, 15 years or so ago. No. We got a dumbass Republican in twice. And we're so far behind. China is number one. You heard Obama talking here that China is going to surpass us if we don't get on this. They already are doing well. We got to get on and become the leader and therefore create jobs. And therefore, other countries want to come to us for our energy. We become a leader in energy. The new energy, not just oil. The Republicans, Donald Trump, tethered to these oil people and lobbyists, decided to put America last, and now China is first. Not by a little bit, by a lot. That's why other countries are going to China right now to get connected to their solar power, to their new renewable energy. I don't know how they export that shit. I have no idea. But now they're the leaders. There are at least 4 countries that are having problems with oil that are literally going to China, the leader in renewable clean energy. They're becoming the power that Obama and everybody else was saying, or Democrats were saying we need to be. They're that now. We're behind. Energy while U.S. and the EU struggle. We're not behind, we're struggling. This is what happened when you let stupid people become president. I don't understand why we couldn't have did both at the same time. You know, you can chew and talk, chew and walk. We could have been doing oil and renewable energy. Hey, we got them both locked down. We number one in both. We couldn't do that. Nope. Last, I ain't gonna say necessarily we are last, but if you're not first to me, you're last. And we are last because China is first. And countries are already going to them for that. And then there are other countries, I think it's a part of China, whatever, they're ordering a shit ton of electric cars, not from America, from other countries that have electric, they have their electric production companies better than ours or more than ours. They're going to their country. So all these countries, instead of coming to America for it, which if we had followed President Obama's plan, they'd be coming to us. But no, they're coming to China. Because we got an 80-year-old that's stupid running our country. And they let him run it twice. I'm just saying, we are losing because of this loser. And what do you expect? He is a career loser. It's a pain, y'all. But that's my tribute to President Obama, to people who are sane and knowledgeable, people that deal in facts and not alternative facts and fiction, people who deal with facts and not your fucking feelings, just your feelings. I am sick of the lies. And if you want to know some truth, just go back and watch this video. And you'll know some truths about what Obama actually did. If you believe Obama didn't do enough for black people, go back and listen to that black child talk about what Obama did for him and his students at his school. Go look at the ACBUs and listen to the videos that he has of him with My Brother's Keeper. Those types of things. In fact, I got one last video. I'm sorry. One last video.
I first met Christian about a year ago. I visited the Hyde Park Academy in Chicago, which is only
2 minutes.
about a mile from my house. And Christian was part of this program called Becoming a Man. And it helps young men who show a lot of potential, but may have gotten in some trouble to stay on the right path. They get help with schoolwork, but
They're proud mom.
they also learn life skills. And it works.
When he came into our BAM circle, it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. Most people do not get to meet him, or if they do, it's just a handshake. He sat down with us and shared his story. And to my surprise, he was just like me, growing up without a father, and sometimes not too concerned with school.
He's right in front of us.
I could see myself in these young men. And the only difference is that I grew up in an environment that was a little bit more forgiving. I told these young men my story then, and I repeat it now because I firmly believe that every child deserves the same chances that I had. And that's why we're here today. I'm going to pen this presidential memorandum to determine what we can do right now to improve the odds for boys and young men of color. And we're committed to building on what works. And we call it My Brother's Keeper.
President Obama decided to get the private sector, the public sector, these foundations, all these great individuals, entrepreneurs, get them all involved to make sure that we can have these young men go on and be successful in life. And this one here is really key for America, not just the black and brown community, but for America. It will improve America.
It's important to have resources and programs like this because it will help younger kids to motivate them. Like if they're failing grades, just to keep trying and just pursue your dreams and never give up.
The community is not always that bad. It's bad because people get shot and killed. And that's all that you hear about it, but you really don't hear about YG or BAM because it's low cap. You know, it's not publicized like, oh, it's a big thing. But now what Barack Obama is doing with My Brother's Initiative is blowing that up. Say it is some good coming out of the south side of Chicago.
That's what's up. That's what's up. It wasn't just for black men. It was men of color. My brother's keeper. Don't tell me Obama didn't do anything for all of us. He did. You just believed in the racists. You believed in the antagonizing piece of shit humans. You did not see this man for who he was. And you got to understand something. Still is. They have tried to get shit on this man forever. And the shocking part is they haven't found it yet. And to my belief, they never will. And that's what they hate about him. Not only was he one of the best presidents we ever had, the most loving, caring, personable, made bills that really mattered. He knew what our lives were like. He spoke to us like we are just like him, no different. Not like we're the smartest person. Obama's bright, but you've never heard him put his intelligence in front of him being just a man, just like everybody else. It wasn't about his intellect. It was about his connection to people, his love for people, and his love for family. And they hate every minute of that because none of them, centuries down their line, could ever compare to him. He would never say it. He would never agree with it. But if you just look at it and pay attention to his life, wife, kids, family, all the things that he did for American citizens and the things I put up is just a fraction of what he did in 8 years. They can't compare. So they have to tear him down and hate on him. Those are facts. Don't like it, it's on you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night. Hope you learned something. Go back and watch it if you didn't, hopefully. Hit that follow button, subscribe, you know what I mean? Become a member. I never really do this, but, you know, I'm starting to do it now. My goal is to educate and also to call people out on lies, because that's all I believe in is to tell the truth, whether it hurts or not. Rip that Band-Aid off, deal with the truth, and change your life for the better. Don't lie to yourself just to continue not facing your reality, responsibility, accountability. Don't. Stick with accountability and responsibility and facts. All right, much love to y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll see you when I see you.